Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, July 31st. It's hard to believe, summer's getting away from us, and before we know it, we'll be back in school, and I think that'll be good in a lot of ways, but enjoy the rest of the summer, that's for sure. Please do. This is dear to my heart because my family's been in the farming business forever. We're still under a state of emergency in all 55 counties due to this terrible drought that we've had, and baby dogs, making all kinds of racket back here. So just hang with her, and Jacob, if you know where another toy is, there it'd probably be a good idea. But nevertheless, I worked really hard to try to get all 55 counties in this state of emergency because. They could very well receive dollars, assistance and everything along the way. But I know we've gotten some beneficial rains in the last little while, but I am telling you, this dry weather and this drought was real, and it took its toll. And I know a lot of people lost crops, and whether they be hay crops or whatever for their cattle, or they be corn or whatever that they were selling as a cash grain operation. It's not any fun when your crops are burning up and no rain in sight and everything. So we've still got a long ways to go to get out of this drought, because as soon, this rain that we had, if we don't get any more substantial rain than what we've gotten, it'll end up temporary, and it'll cause, we'll be right back in the same mix that we were in. And everybody, I don't mean to flaunt this, but usually September is the driest month we have out of the whole year, and it can still be hot, and August can be the hottest month of the year. So we still got a ways to go, but we don't have a burn ban in place right now because things are green and all that. But nevertheless, we've got to be extra vigilant, and we've got to watch what we're doing and everything, because we don't want a bunch of forest fires out. So with all that being said, we're on top of it, but we need you to be on top of it as well. Today I'm announcing the appointment of Dr. Stephen Lloyd, and many of you probably know Stephen Lloyd. I think he's an incredible man, and he's going to be the director of our Office of Drug Control Policy. I think you'll find that he brings a lot of experience and a lot of stuff to the table. And we want to, we don't want to just coast to the finish line here. We want to run through the finish line, and I know I've got about 5 or 6 months left, and we want to try to do everything we possibly can to try to make things better in this great state. We all still know that the drug situation, attacks every last one of us. It doesn't matter black, white, rich, poor. It doesn't matter. It affects every last single one of us. And it's still a bad situation in West Virginia. It's a bad situation all the way across the globe. But absolutely, we've still got tons of work to do. And I think Stephen Lloyd will bring a whole lot to the table. So we're really excited about him coming on board. And his first day in the position will be August the 12th. So Stephen, I know, will do really great. I want to talk to you about this infrastructure hub, but a little ways back, we put together a group, the task force, that basically, whether it was, Harold Ward at DEP or Chelsea Ruby or the highways folks or whomever it was, all of them, were incentivized from me to basically do just this, or motivated would be the right word, to try to get as many federal dollars into the state as we possibly can. And in doing so, I think now they have crossed $14 billion that have been, brought into the state for infrastructure projects, federal dollars. But now, through their tireless work, and Jihan knows that who I'm talking about over at Highways and everything, and a bunch of people, but we thank Jihan in every way. She's been instrumental in this, and she's done great work. But a lot of people have done this. and everything. But today I'm announcing another $130 million that they found from the federal government that's going to come into West Virginia. You know, 88 million of it is going to go towards the Market Street Bridge, which connects Weirton and Steubenville, Ohio, but it's the second largest transportation grant ever received in West Virginia. It's $88 million, and there's lots and lots of other stuff. There's 3 other infrastructure projects over $36 million, which go towards Beckley, Westover, and Charleston. They're just, we've done something really good here, because, you know, what my thought was just this. There's buckets of money all over the place in the federal government. And if we don't have people that are searching for those buckets of money nonstop, a lot of them are going to get away from us. So these people have done a really great job, and I'm really proud of them. And this is a testimony to just what we've been able to do, but we brought a lot of money into the state of West Virginia, and we're going to keep on doing it. So let's just keep at it. You know, here's something, just at 1 p.m. today, we're going to do something out here near the Cultural Center on the Capitol grounds. It's going to be a new exhibit that we're going to have on our Capitol grounds. It's going to feature 11 industries and the natural resources that made West Virginia the leader of the world. And it's all primarily about our natural resources and everything. I think you'll love it in every way. The exhibit is part of America 250 Legacy Project that states, you know, across the country are all working on. Randall Reed Smith has done an amazing job in lots and lots of different areas. But I think you'll love this, and Randall's just keep on doing good stuff. I mean, he's amazing, amazing talent, and what a selection for our curator, and what great work he's done. Okay, you know, today I'm announcing this is something else. You know, at the Herbert Henderson Office of Minority Affairs and everything is continuing its statewide listening tour. They're going to be in Mount Hope on August the 6th. And absolutely, they're there to listen to community members and absolutely gain knowledge and everything, and just keep on doing good stuff across West Virginia. So remember that date, Mount Hope, August the 6th. Okay, this is a little different. This is a record catfish that's been caught, and it was caught in a pond by John Rutherford. Now get this. It's 43.51 inches long, and it weighed 46.7 pounds. Or, you know, I mean, it is amazing. But it's a channel cat, and John, I mean, that one is the real deal. I mean, that's all there is to it. So put that thing back in that pond and let it keep on growing. But that's a new state record, and so that's great stuff. So way to go, John. Congratulations. Okay, yesterday we were in Morgantown. You know, Kathy and I welcomed 300 people there at the annual Communities and Schools West Virginia Conference. It'll be the last one that Kathy and I will have, you know, be able to have as your governor and first lady. But it was really good. You know, that program started out, you know, in one county. You know, its progress when it started 20 years ago, it started in Greenbrier County. You know, over the next 13 years, it grew 0. And, you know, they still had their little thing there in Greenbrier County. But when Kathy got involved, and y'all know Kathy. I mean, Kathy is just as selfish and as selfish. I mean, as little selfish as a human being could be, and she's kind and just loving to everybody. But there you see all of us together and everything with Baby Dog as well, and all the great people that have put in all the licks, and there's a bunch more to make Communities and Schools what they are today in West Virginia. You know, we didn't really get hung up on following a national model at all. You know, all we wanted to do was just help kids. And and we've done so. And then Kathy, took it to another level with the therapy dogs. I think they have 32 now and 32 different schools, but there's 270 schools involved, over 114,000 kids involved. Absolutely now this program, without any question, and I have said it over and over and over, doesn't have anything to do with Kathy, but I have said this so many times it's unbelievable. I'm in the schools a lot. I coach. I've been in the schools so much across this state, it's unbelievable. Never. And you mark it down, if you believe Jim Justice, never, ever, ever have I seen a program work like this. I mean, just think about it. When you got a kid in trouble, maybe a kid's really disruptive in the classroom, affecting other students, maybe the kid just absolutely needs a hand, maybe he needs a jacket, he's cold, maybe he needs some food on the weekend because he doesn't have any food other than the food he's getting at schools. Maybe he needs somebody to just be able to talk to. Maybe he needs to be able to just sit with one of the therapy dogs and absolutely just talk to them or read to them. There's a kid in Pineville, severely handicapped, that wouldn't hardly come to school at all. And they had a picture of him sitting there reading to the dog and everything. And absolutely, they said now, they asked him, how's your day going? And he's sitting there reading to the dog. And he says, best day ever. This program has been unbelievable. And it is done great, great, great work. And I salute Kathy in every way, because this one, little Kathy hit a home run, and everything. And it's really been great for our kids and done an awful lot for our schools. I want to remind you about our sales tax holiday period from August the 2nd to August the 5th. Take advantage of it. You'll pick up some extra dollars. Maybe you can spend on some additional supplies and everything. So please take advantage. In regard to the lottery giveaway at Twin Falls State Park, it's an archery hunt that a lot of people are going to be able to go, that are going to have down there and everything. It's a way to control and manage the deer herd that's down there as well. And with all that being said, the whitetail frenzy people are going to have their TV crew there, or take some big lucky winner that so get your applications in, and so you could be on national TV with the whitetail frenzy folks, and you can enjoy an incredible hunt. So that's all I've got right now. Thank you so much.
All right, Governor, we'll now take questions from members of the media. First up today, Charles Young with WV News.
This is Charles Young with WV News. Governor, I wanted to ask you about your proposal for offsetting the additional income tax cuts that you've asked about. When you first proposed the idea, you suggested lawmakers calculate the cost, double it, and set it aside. I was wondering how that idea has been received as you're working on this with lawmakers. Thank you.
Well, Charles, I'd say we've got a ways to go. And the reason we've got a ways to go, now you know me, I just tell it like I think the best I can possibly tell you. There's a lot we've got to do. But from the lawmaker's standpoint, I always want to be really professional and really respectful. But at the same time, I would just tell you from a truthful standpoint, here's the whole deal. If we don't watch out, everybody's got a pet project that they would like to do with surplus dollars. And really and truly, what I'm proposing is just this. I'm saying calculate the cost. And the cost is roughly, our revenue folks can come up with this a lot better than I. But the cost is somewhere around $27 million per percent of basically cut that we make. Now, I'm close. So if it's $27 million, And what we want to do is cut an additional 5%. You multiply 5 times 27, you come up with $135 million. Now that's basically what it's going to cost, and that we're going to basically, cut out of the revenue picture of the state of West Virginia, $135 million. Now we've got right now an $826.6 million surplus. $826.6 million surplus. Now, if we can't take $135 million of that money and give it back to our people, it's their money in the first place, then we're making a big time mistake. But here's what I do. This is exactly what Jim Justice would do, because we don't want to get out in the out years and have a hiccup and then have a real problem. That's the argument, which I think is not really the argument. I think that's the excuse or the bush we're hiding behind to be able to keep the money and do some pet project. Now, literally, our lawmakers need to understand wholeheartedly that this is the people's money, and if we can accelerate any way getting rid of our personal income tax, we need to be all about doing that. Because there's nothing, no matter what anybody says in the world, there is nothing that's going to drive population growth and people to come to West Virginia and companies to come to West Virginia any faster than anything that's out there, except one thing, and that's getting rid of your personal income tax in West Virginia. If we get rid of our personal income tax in West Virginia, we'll be Tennessee. We'll be Tennessee on steroids, because we're closer to the population. We have all the seasons, we have everything that Tennessee has. Mark it down. If you want real live growth in West Virginia, you get rid of your personal income tax, you won't believe it. Real live opportunity, it's right around the corner. And plus the fact, for all of us that are living here, we're going to put money in our pocket big time. Where we're at right now, we're at 21.5%, 25% rather, 21 and a quarter we've already cut. In addition to that, now we've triggered an additional 4. Now we're at 25 and a quarter that we've cut, basically. What I'm saying is let's do 5 more. And the 5 more is going to cost us $135 million. Now how you do it, if you want to be really prudent, is just this. You've got an income tax reserve fund like a rainy day fund right now. A lot of people out there don't understand this, but I'm going to slow down right here and I'm going to tell you. You've got an income tax rainy day fund that we put $400 million into last year. So it's sitting over there and it's growing interest dollars and everything, and I don't know exactly what it is right now, but I'll bet you it's somewhere close to 435 or something like that right now, without doing anything else. It's just sitting there all by itself, growing dollars of interest income. Now, if you want to really do something the way Jim Justice would do it, the way Jim Justice would mind the store, here's what he would do. He would say to you, okay, we know this 5% is going to cost us $135 million, right? It's going to cost $135 million. We've got $826.6 more million dollars of surplus that's just sitting out there. So let's do this. Let's take the $135 million that this is going to cost us and multiply it by 2. Let's do that and make it $270. And then let's take $270 million of the $826 and put it in the rainy day income tax fund. And when we do that, that'll make that fund $700 million. And it'll be growing interest like crazy. And then absolutely, then we'll still have, for all the projects we want to do, we'll still have, and I don't know exactly what the math would be, but I think it's somewhere close to $550 million that we can do whatever we want with it, because we'll take that 270 out of the 826 surplus, put it over in the rainy day fund, and if we ever hit a bump, God forbid, there is no possibility that unless somebody comes in here and runs this state in the ground, we can't let that happen. But absolutely, with all that being said, it is the safety net of safety nets of safety nets. If we want to be super, super safe, do that. You don't need to do that, but if you want to be super safe, do that. And you'll still have $550 million that everybody can fight over on, their pet projects and what they want to do across the state. Not doing this is terrible. Absolutely not doing this is terrible. Coming up, and whether it be Eric Tarr's boogeymen in a closet like, oh, we're going to have to claw back on the education money. It's going to cost us $375 million. Poof, doesn't happen. But what happens, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, over and over and over, what happens is what I tell you is going to happen, doesn't it? I've told you, and I've told you, and I've told you. I've been fair with you. I've been truthful with you. I've not tried to scare you. I've tried to tell you exactly what I think. I've told you the bad news. I've told you the good news. If we don't do this, we're crazy. We're completely crazy. Absolutely, we've got the money. We've got the insurance policy from the standpoint of the protection, rather, from the standpoint that we're going to have a ton of money in this rainy day fund. I am telling you, the only reason in the world we wouldn't do this is somebody on a soapbox, and if we want to do good stuff for West Virginia, it's right in front of us. So that's the long and short of it, Charles. I hope you got all that.
Thank you, Charles. Governor, up next is Curtis Johnson with WSAZ.
Hey, good afternoon, Governor. Thank you so much for taking my question. I guess it is, midday. Secretary Pursley in June spoke at a briefing coordinated by your office. Her department was developing a system for helping children and families whose situation may not meet the legal definition of abuse and neglect. She called that system differentiated response. Her department now tells us the first step for that program won't be in place until January 2026, and the system itself that same year, 2026. As governor, are you concerned it's taking too long to implement? And what can you do as governor to ensure children who need help do not fall through the cracks?
Curtis, I'm always the most impatient guy in the room. And I can't imagine that any program or any implementation that we would be doing ought to take until January of 2026. I'll revisit every way. I'm sure they're working hard. I'm sure they're trying to do the very best they can. I'm sure there's different, stuff that they've got to measure. They've got to do all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, I get all that. And these are good people. They're not just blowing smoke and telling you, well, we're not going to have it ready for 18,000 years and all that. I get all that, and they're not that kind at all. They're trying. There must be some things that they've got to take some sample of a period of time, and maybe that's the only way they're going to be able to do it. But with all that being said, I'm the most impatient guy in the room, and we want to continue to try to help kids in every way. And we're making real improvement. I mean, let's be fair. Let's be really fair. With our foster kids and stuff like that, we've really had some steps that we've really done good. And these people are the ones that deserve all the credit. And so we just want to keep on doing the right stuff. But I'll check it out even more.
All right, Governor, back to you. Thanks, Curtis.
Well, let me review real quick here, but I remember in your prayers all these farmers and stuff like that that I mean, yeah, this country, about 14% of your annual income goes towards buying food. And most all other countries of the world, you know, that is more like 35%, and some of them are even higher than that. And we have a food abundance like you can't imagine. You know, you go in the grocery store, for as far as you can see, you know, there's food choices beyond belief. And then lots of times you go to a restaurant and something like that, and you get your meal, and the meal comes, and maybe you're not all that hungry, and you eat half of it, and then what do they do with the rest of it? Throw it away. You know, I mean, there's countries, there's folks all across this world that would kill to have the opportunity to really, you know, have the rest of that food that you're going to throw away, and so remember that, you know. But I can tell you that our farmers across our land are making all that work for us, and you know, and if you'll just think about this just 1 second, and please stay with me, but you know, let's use John as an example. John, you know, is a guy that gets up every day and at daylight, and he's working on his farm and everything. Most generally, John's driving a pickup truck that's 8 or 10 years old, and John has worked really, really, really hard his entire life. He's providing, you know, food for us, and it's the cheapest, the most abundant, and John works so blooming hard, it is unbelievable. And now, right now, in a lot of instances, all of a sudden, his crop's getting burned up, and there's nothing he can do, and maybe the rains just haven't come, and so just always remember the backbone of this country, in many ways, are our farmers all across the land, and our ranchers, and so just remember them, because what they give to us is unflat believable. And really and truly, when it really boils down to it, if you could add up the hours that they work, and then at the end of the year, you know, John, you know, with his wife, they work up all their costs and everything else, and they come up and they make $18,000. Now, sometimes it's a whole lot better, but sometimes it's a whole lot worse. They provide so much for us in this country, it's off the chart. Remember them in your prayers, because right now things are probably pretty tough, and so a lot of them I know have completely lost crops and everything else. And the other thing is, remember Kathy and all the good work communities and schools have done. They deserve us to be proud of them. But thank you all so much. That's all I've got. Thank you.